Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are seasoned veterans of what we do around here, and welcome to those of you who are new. We've got over 690 audios available for your listening pleasure on a variety of topics. We try to update as many times as we can, sometimes several times per week, depending on my schedule. And so we try to do that for your enrichment. If you're looking for ways to deal with letting go of relationships, platonic or romantic, then this is an audio that's good for you. If you're looking for coaching in that area or in any area of relationship, business, or personal goal setting, then feel free to reach out. There's a couple ways to do that. You can do that in the About Me section of this YouTube page, or you can reach out through the About Me section of this YouTube page and or on Twitter. So the concept here is when it's time to let go of your best friend. Now, this can apply to both platonic or romantic best friends, and I've had to do this grand total of twice in my life, but right now I gotta grab my phone. We'll be back in two shakes of a lamb's tail post this opportunity. And I've had to let go of a best friend twice in my life, once as a youngster and then once as an adult, and it's never easy and it's never fun. I mean, obviously, letting go of partners is different because you're planning on building a future with a person, but when you think you've found your person, so to speak, it can be extremely devastating because when people change, as they often do, time changes people, circumstances and traumas change people. Life series of life change people. The beginning of knowing that you need to let go is the doubt of a person's intentions and or the doubt of a person's um, you know, just focus on the relationship. If you begin to doubt that a person is as committed to keeping the friendship going as you are, and that goes on for several weeks to several months, it's time to let go. Because, number one, if you don't feel that you can communicate your concerns to them, or if you have communicated them and there hasn't been resolution, then the likelihood that someone's just going to string you along because you have a history and they don't want to have an uncomfortable conversation is very high. And ultimately, many times friendships kind of go through periods of drought, but can pick back up after a season has passed. Also, you don't want to stay in a friendship that you're more invested in because you're going to feel rejected whether you mean to or not. The next is limited, sparse, or no communication. Obviously, relationships require, easy for me to say, communication. And so, if a person is not communicating in a timely fashion and or isn't making time for the relationship to continue to grow, then it's time to let go. Obviously, life happens and schedules change and people get busy and obligations, especially with children or spouses, can change a friendship. However, if someone isn't willing to make you a priority, then you can't force that forward. And a lot of people unfortunately do, and they hold on to what used to be there rather than what is. And so the challenge becomes, do you want to live in the past of what was or the present of what is? Most people would rather live in the past because it's more comfortable, and confirming or confronting the ending of a friendship is painful, but oftentimes it's necessary in order to make room for new people in your own life. The next is different pathways. A lot of times people will have goals when they start a friendship, be it in middle school, high school, or college, and the goals take them in different directions. It doesn't mean that either person is a bad person. It just means that the phase of life that you have entered is different than the phase of life that other people have entered. I have, since starting my own business, lost a lot of friends who weren't as business minded, and so the reality of that situation is I either had to give up on my goals, dreams, and aspirations of being a business owner that required more of my time, or I had to let go of friends who didn't share the same passion for creating a legacy through work that I did. Did it cost me some friends? Yes. Was it uncomfortable? Yes. Do I regret it? At times. And that's the other part of it. A different pathway doesn't mean you can't check back in with a person to see if you're back in sync at a later time, a couple of years or a decade down the road. But you can't force someone to be in the same place at the same time with you in their own life journey because every person has their own life journey. Obviously, new friend groups and new social groups is another major part of this. If you are meeting new people and they hold your attention, or your former friend is meeting new people and their attention is being held by that individual, you should well, I wouldn't even say should. It is best often to allow that process to happen because there are things you need to learn from that social group or that they need to learn from that social group. Otherwise, they wouldn't be showing up in each other's life experience. That may require more time to be spent over there, which means less time on previous relationship, including yours. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've done anything wrong. Actually, people in general do outgrow each other. While it's romanticized that we have friends that last for decades, it's very rare. Sometimes there is a childhood friend or two that remains, but for most people, upwards of 90%, friends come in phases and they don't necessarily stay. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person or that they're a bad person. It just happens that way because people evolve and grow. The last is, and this is the biggest one, no trust. If you don't trust a person's intentions in your life or you in theirs, then the relationship has already ended and no one's had the conversation. So, at the foundation of every healthy friendship and relationship is trust. And if trust doesn't exist, then what you're holding on to is the remnants of the past and a desire to return there, not necessarily a current relationship. So, hopefully, this is helpful. I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.